Morning, YouTube. It's Friday morning. I think wherever the Friday is close to the 15th as the date, because I don't know what it is. But anyway, we were supposed to have an inch of snow. We had 4, so that means I got to plow. And since today's Friday, people will be coming up possibly to their cabins, so I want to make sure I get it done early. So it's around 7 o'clock. So I'm going to go finish up quick. Last year, I wasn't having any problem with the rear end at all. Everything was working good. But I noticed that when I would change gears from drive to reverse, there was a little bit of clanging in the rear, and that's actually normal for a Chevy. But I didn't want to take any chances because of the mileage on the truck. So last year I bought from Jegs, J-E-G-S, a thing called a Detroit locker rear. And I'll tell you what, it's a lot better than what the original Chevy locking rear was, or I forget what they call that, limited slip differential. Yeah, it's a lot better than that. And I've had some good luck with it. It just seems like it's more, I don't know, it locks the tires quicker. Like instead of waiting to get you know, one tire to slip and then the other one to get going, it doesn't have to wait so long. It just seems like as soon as you start to slip, it starts to work. So I've actually enjoyed putting that in and having it in there. It's kind of a fussy thing when you're working on a rear. Now you can see the township did the main street here, if you want to call it that. One way, well actually this is not the township. They'd never be out this early. This is the fuel gas guys. National Fuel Gas takes care of this road while they're working on their things back there, their gas pipes. I actually enjoy doing the plowing, especially when it's nice like this and there's no snow blowing on the window and stuff. I'm just so glad that the truck is running good. It pays to take care of your stuff, you know what I mean? Like in this 89, to be able to have this for this long, and a lot of guys do what I do. They nurse the truck, they baby the truck, and that's only to keep it going. It's actually hard to plow with one hand. Gotta get something that can hold this camera, I guess. You know, you talk about doing things for your neighbors, and I plow this road. 4 inches of snow or more is what my criteria is for plowing it. And some of them pay not a whole lot of money, believe me, for a whole year of plowing. I've plowed this road 8 times this year, and the money that you get paid doesn't really cover the expense that it is, especially the wear and tear. But you know, you're trying to help your neighbors out. The only thing is, every now and then it would be nice if they realized how much some of this stuff costs, instead of going from year to year without a thought of what it actually takes to do the plowing. But anyway, try to help them regardless. But it's the 4th set of deer tracks went across the road there now. Since I guess it snowed early this morning as opposed to last night. The one thing about plowing over here is it's so quiet and everything. There's never anybody in your way or nothing. I actually love coming over here to plow. I think I don't want to tell the neighbors this, but I think I'd plow it for nothing just to be able to come over here, because I really like the quiet and you get to see some of the animals and stuff here and there. Up here by this orange stake, up in here is where the water lays, so that's probably going to be pretty icy. These lumps, I'm not even going to try to move. Here's another set of deer tracks. I'm just going to squeeze through the middle of this thing and get to Jim's place. One thing nice about Jim is he really knows how to pay you. Not only does Jim pay cash for the doing the plowing, a little bit of money, but he also gives me a lot of logs and stuff, so that's a good thing. Even though I still have to, you know, come and get them, it's still better than having to pay for the logs. It's a real pleasure to plow when the road surface is frozen solid underneath it. The other day I was up here plowing and I sunk down in with the backhoe because they never compacted this when they finished the road, the gas people. And it was just a disaster. I had to take the plow off the backhoe to dig myself the heck out. You can see the snow's sort of thin here because of the wind that comes down through this pipeline. Wow, this is really moving the truck around. Usually everybody that comes up this direction knows enough to come with four-wheel drive. So you don't have to be real fussy with everything, especially this time of the season. Now if this was, you know, October or November and you were getting this kind of snow, you'd want to push it back as far as you could early so that you can get the rest of the winter snow without having to bring a machine here to move it back. Because a lot of these lumps that you see there are really hard to move. They're frozen pretty solid. You can see the plow going over there a little bit from dragging on the snow. This driveway here's it's not real narrow, at least. It's wide enough for the blade to make more than one pass, but it goes up here, turns real hard, goes up there, turns real hard, then turns real hard into the house. I guess when they built the driveway, they were concerned about not taking any trees down because they didn't, you know, make it easy. But it's not that bad. So here we have a turn. You can see a lot of deer tracks here. I don't know why they come through here so often, but they do. And then this, the thing about this property is it sits on a really big hill here, and he must have a tremendous amount of water in his basement because there's this where I'm sitting gets really wet at times. Sometimes the truck will sink down in or it'll pick up a bunch of mud here, but like I say, I'm just glad that it, let me get this plow where I want it. I'm just glad that it is frozen. You can see the mud over there in the corner, right here. It's wet over in there. There's a lot of, here's a ditch, like a swale dug around the property here to keep the water away, but you know, when you have this much snow and a lot of rain and everything, it doesn't seem to really help much. Just the other day, you can tell by the snow on his picnic table there. Let me take a closer look at that. That's probably at least 8 inches. It's as high as this cement block. What it is that all the snow, if you remember a couple weeks ago, like less than 2 weeks ago, everything was completely thawed out and all the snow was gone, and then all of a sudden it got cold again. Get as close to his steps as I can. I don't get out and shovel nothing. I got enough to shovel myself, and they'll shovel this if they come up. This tree's gonna have to come down soon. The bad part about the driveway is if you go to that side just a little bit, you're down in the swampy area there, so you got to be careful that you don't get off the road. You know, sometimes you have a tendency to want to clean up real good, and it's not exactly the best thing you can do for yourself. Weeks ago there was a surveyor up here working, and he decided he was going to park right here, and he didn't realize, I don't know if you can see that, but there's like a 3-foot drop off right by that swale. The back of his truck was about 8 feet in the air when I went by. I had to go to a doctor's appointment. I told him, if you're still here when I get back, I'll yank you out with my backhoe, otherwise, you know, he's going to have to call somebody. And I guess he called somebody, because when I got back from the doctor, he was out. So, like I say, you know, when you're plowing, you got to be alert to where all these hazards are. Not that you run into them and end up wrecking the truck. Guys still haven't come back yet. They went down, but they didn't come back, so. try and clean the intersection up if I leave snow on it. I mean, we're out in the middle of nowhere. It's not really going to matter to these people, but I'm used to plowing snow in a more populated area, and you really don't want to leave snow piled up for people in the intersection. Actually, the state cops used to come after you for it if you left big lumps and stuff laying around. Some of them. So I have 2 more little driveways to do, and then I'll be done with this. Didn't take me too long today. Couple living in this driveway here. If there's a lot of snow and I see that the windrow is high, I'll knock it down for them. They didn't ask me to plow nothing, but I know it's hard for them to get out of there because she's driving a smaller car. 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, I guess it is, but it's still kind of small. But it's not today, so I'm just going to keep going. I'm pushing that snow over on that side, over there. I don't know if you can see my finger that way. To keep the stones off of my grass, because I cut the grass along here so we can walk the dog. Once I get down here so far, it doesn't matter now because I'm in the state forest. And this way here, I still plow this if I'm not sure whether they're gonna or not, just so I can walk bullseye. So like I say, this time of the year, it's not a big deal because you're not going to get that much. You never know, you could get a 16-inch snowfall or whatever in April, but just plowing it anyway, just to make sure. And if I kick the snow to the side, the driver that drives knows that I don't want stones all over my grass. And what he'll do for me is he'll push the snow further over than when he comes through. I asked him about it a couple weeks ago, so he said he would do it. And then here's where I usually turn around with the dog. This has already been plowed, so I'm not interested in plowing this. I have a little area up here where we park cars for guys that want to shoot clay birds. And I do a lot of it myself. So I'm going to just clear this up here real quick. Gotta use my 2 hands here, guys. Okay. tired of holding the camera. Oh, you're right back there, yeah. Now, from here up, I want to kick the snow over there further. A nice sunny day, but it's pretty cold. I don't know what the temperature was. I didn't even look at it when I walked out this morning. Most of what I plow is mine, so I need to plow this where the other house is. Oh, it's getting hot in here. Gotta use my two hands to get out. I'll make another pass here just to widen it out a little bit. One here yet. This guy here is from North Carolina. Very nice person. He's another one like Jim. He doesn't pay cash to get the driveway taken care of, but what he does is so many favors for me it isn't even funny. Actually, the plow pump and stuff, when I had a different Western brand on, he brought this old Myers up and it worked good. I put it on the truck and it's been working, I can't say flawlessly. I've had it to Smith, or bought parts from Smith Brothers a couple times to fix it, but it doesn't matter. I didn't have to pay for the whole plow. He also brought up the steel that I used to make the plow frame. So, and whenever he uses my milling machine and stuff, what he'll do is whatever bits he uses, he always leaves the bits lay. And I'm talking about he'll buy bits. He doesn't use my bits. He buys his own bits, brings them up, and then he'll leave them there as a little bit of a, you know, gratuity for me, and I appreciate that. I wish he would pick up some of his stuff. You can tell that he's from down south. He has a, what do you call it, the Outer Banks or something? Yeah, that's where they're from. And you can tell that by the way he built the house so up off the ground. We call this a raised ranch up here. I guess they are trying to stay out of the ocean water. But the place is nice. if he ever gets flooded up here, the rest of the world pretty much doesn't have any life left in it. Or at least around here anyway. Okay. It goes a lot faster than when you got to use the garden tractor to do all this plowing, I'll tell you that. Have to move the backhoe so I can plow over there. This is what I mean about not cleaning up. I didn't clean up that wood yesterday and now it's all covered in snow. So. Now technically this isn't my driveway up here. I use this just as a place to get to our orchard, which is up a little further. But Sally likes to walk bullseye up through here, so I just plow this so it's not so icy for her. Next to the greenhouse here, whatever I plow I don't have to shovel. Well, that's pretty much it. I gotta do a little bit of cleaning up here yet and then that's it. Thanks for going with me, guys. Well, we're back home and done. Ugh. Got a little bit of handwork over there then. You know, I don't know whether you care or don't care, but I used to buy Goodyear Wrangler tires, and I used to like them. And then all of a sudden I started getting flats with them, and they never held up much. So now I buy these General Grabber AT2. I gotta shut my lights off. These have an aggressive tread on them, and they really work good. I like them a lot. Never been stuck with the truck with these on. Never had a flat tire, you know, prematurely with these on. Except for when I was building the addition, there was a anchor bolts in the concrete. Somebody drove over the anchor bolts and flattened two brand new AT2s, but you'll have this. But anyway, yeah, so that's what I used for that. Well, I gotta go see Bullseye, and then I gotta start doing some moving around over there.